So my name's Mick Neave, I'm with CSIRO in entomology. So today this talk is a little bit off sort of on production and stuff, but it's more to do with insects. It's called beneficial insects in agricultural production landscapes. What can they do for me? So just on to crop pollination, and this is sort of where I'm interested in at the moment. Pollination can yield quantity and quality. Obviously it doesn't pollinate, they don't pollinate cereals, but there's a lot of insect pollination in orchard crops such as apples, stone fruit, almonds, etc. So even broadacre crops such as canola, 10 to 30%, 10 to 30 it says there, Manning and Bollard, so there's a few studies that have been done. Cotton 20%, fava beans 25, and lupins 32. So these are studies that have shown that insect pollination improves the overall yield. Also it says pigeon pea, lucerne clovis. So important, that it includes a lot of native bees as well. So, it's not just the managed hives that we have in our area, but there's a lot of natives that live here. And if you with canola, I know some blokes might have actually got bought in bees, but some people do. A lot of people don't. They just rely on the normal pollination system. But not everybody can do that, so we really need to think about what native sort of pollinators we've got, which is the native bees. So to do that, we need to work out what sort of abundance of bees we've got, and also what sort of varieties and so on. To do this, we need to undertake more studies. So just like with pests, we want to know what the landscape, what sort of role the landscape has in managing and helping our native bees. So we've got a couple of studies we've done that use this blue trap. I've actually got a blue trap which I was going to put there, but I haven't done it. It doesn't matter, I've got it in the car if you want to look at it. The two girls on Tullamore wanted to look at the bee trap, so feel free. So we've done a few bee trap studies just to try and work out what species and how many we get. Particularly you might know P. lentini because this trap was done out at Condo and Forbes. So she's collected quite a 200 trap weeks of stuff. Blandine stuff was at Bethungra, and CWFS Spring was at Brewer. So what we find if we put these blue traps, these blue traps are sort of internationally a good way of trapping bees, and that's why we use them. There's lots of other different ways you can catch bees, but this seems to be a pretty good one of catching some of the males. In fact, Helen's got the bee trap there. You see there, you can't buy those, so if you're interested in the bees. So the results were that we caught a lot of different species. We caught the most was this particular species, Leucopterus maculatus. We also caught quite a few Apis mellifera, so there's quite a few wild. We assume there's quite a big population of wild honeybees around, and we know that there is a lot of honeybees, and they do quite a lot of pollination in this country. And that's another issue, is disease and stuff coming out of other countries, and potential damage to our wild honeybee population. This is another bee that's one of my favourites, striped bee. Here, you might know this from your gardens. I don't know if anybody's seen this in their garden. Anyone sort of bother looking at their bees when they just see a bee buzzing past? Must be honeybees, doesn't matter.
That's quite probably the stripes of that. Isn't that what you would call a European wasp as well?
No, that's not a wasp.
No, but if you see a European wasp, is that quite prominent stripes?
The European wasp is does have black stripes, and it's more yellow. Yeah, so I mean you can probably just look that up on the internet and see the pictures there. They are.
I can say you do look at the trees just
in trees. So
But I'm not sure what sort of bees they are.
well, they'd probably be feral honeybees, more than likely. Though, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you ever actually bother looking at the things around your flowers, around your garden, you'll be able to see straight away whether it's one of those or it's a honeybee. And we do have a large population of wild honeybees in this country. And they do a lot of pollination, but you know, there's a lot of issues about looking after them. If we get some of the diseases that are internationally sort of problems. So I did bring also some bee boxes here, so you can actually have a look at some of these firsthand and not just the pictures. So there's a couple of boxes of bees that you can give a look at later, particularly if you're interested. So, and of course the other one you get is lots of little black ones, and of course Scott said, oh geez, I would have thought that was just a fly or something, I'd shoot it away or something, but there's many species of little black ones. I've got some of those other ones too. So this study was done at Bungaroo, and basically the traps were put out on the edge of the fields and in the centre of the fields and on the roads as well. So I think both of these, and these three sites here, all these paddocks ended up sort of being canola. So what we found was the further away from the edge, the field edge, you got quite a significant amount of abundance. Whereas if you're on the edge, as you can see, I should really point this out, it's on the edge in the fence line, you can see the edge to grain. Yeah, quite good diversity in terms of different species that we've got. So basically we find that any nectar producing flowers, crops you might have, that's good for bee abundance. It's also good for nesting, providing nesting resources in non-agricultural patches. What's good for diversity are patches of non-ag land, roadsides, remnants, scattered trees as well. So we're talking about some of the things, the beneficial insects, looking at sort of native veg and any kind of patches that aren't sort of used as agriculture, that's under agriculture, such as roadsides. Single trees, they're quite important because they do provide stopovers for other types of animals as well, all kind of diversity uses. And I think there was someone said a figure of about 30% of diversity uses these trees, wasn't it? Or was that right?
Increased local diversity by about 30%.
Increased local diversity, thanks for that. I didn't quite remember that one. It's a good figure to have. I should have put that in the bloody thing.
Does the distance between the trees have a big impact? So you say single trees, is it like a set distance that it becomes less beneficial? If you have single trees, scattered through your paddock, or you have one single tree in the middle of your paddock,
yeah,
does it make that much of a difference?
Yeah, I think the more trees you have, the better off you are, and the distance, the bigger distance you have is obviously the worse it is. The smaller the distance, the better for diversity.
So if you do have trees along each fence line of your paddock, it's not going to be that much of a decline as opposed to one or two in the middle as well?
Well, I would think that you'd add up the amount of area that you had and if you had one single tree, but then, as we've just said, it does provide hopping off spots. And actually, the girl who did the study, she's doing a PhD, the one that did do the trapping out here, she does have a paper out, and she was looking at other things like stock roots and connecting up all the veg. So, trying to make ways where one can hop to another. You quite often think there's a bird flying where's it going to go? It's not going to fly for miles across the paddock, but it'll probably hop across from, tree to tree or big patches of veg to veg. So she was looking at how much bee diversity there was and trying to connect up the different roadsides and patches of trees that you've grown on as a windbreaks on the farm, and connecting them up and seeing whether that improves things, and of course it does. So having many species do a job is better than relying on just one. It's very well established in pollination studies and it appears to be pretty general. So you're more likely to provide better service across a wider range of conditions if you've got better diversity, and you're more likely to continue providing service in the face of perturbations. So it's like an investment portfolio. So management options of crop pollination. You can retain pollinator habitat in terms of the floral and nesting resources. Can be remnant vegetation, but also narrow strips of untilled, uncropped land, field margins, roadside margins, drainage areas, anything that's sort of not sort of under crop. Avoid broad spectrum insecticides. Encourage patch heterogeneity or mixed patches, so smaller field sizes, crops that flower at different times. For some cases, managed honeybees for pollination is an economic option, but also, probably less intensive sort of pastures are probably actually better for both pests and crop pollinators. Preventing further losses, if we can keep patches of low intensity land use, we'll preserve more biodiversity. We need to recognise and protect the diversity we have. It's as important as the whales, or even, dare I say it, for you people it's probably a bit more important than the whales. At least it can deliver, something substantial for yourself.
Just wonder there haven't been any whales up the Lachlan.
And we'll be rewarded with better ecosystem services and beautiful landscapes. So things to do on the farm, protect the assets you already have. Even the smallest patch, isolated trees have been shown to harbour bees. If you can afford to re-veg, if you can't, remember that even the small patches really contribute. Fence lines, laneways, corners, protect them from fertiliser, heavy grazing, weed invasion. Reduce inputs of broad spectrum sprays, and practice good land care, reducing runoff erosion. Off the farm, try and support all your local land care operations because they're trying to increase the amount of native veg and diversity. And what's this last one? Yep, reserves. You might be asked to be involved in looking after reserves. Every bit counts.